Well, hello, hello. Today, Inaros. So, Inaros, strangely enough, it takes very little to build. He's actually one of the frames that I recommend on a regular basis because it doesn't take a whole lot of forma, like usually. Two forma and you're good. I mean, and technically, you can run Inaros without him. You can. Not quite as good, but my Archon shards aren't complete yet. But I have one armor shard. That's it. The rest are probably going to be health. And I was trying out the Violent Archon shard here. It basically gives you equilibrium on a low scale. And it's kind of overkill for my build. Like, it's overkill for any Inaros build, really. Because you can use Hunter Adrenaline. I use them both. The Archon shard for the equilibrium and the Hunter Adrenaline. It it works together. It's either that or use the Hunter Adrenaline and Rage, because then it turns like almost 100% of your damage into energy. Where is Rage at? So now, other than that, you can't use Inaros without Undying Will, because if he does go down, you need the extra time to get him back up. If without Undying Will, if you do go down and you try to punch something in the face to resurrect yourself, you're not gonna have enough time on Jenner. You really don't. You definitely want health. Health and armor, for sure. If you don't have any Archon shards at all, you'll have to take probably Archon Intensify that I'm using, this spot, and use that for armor. You know, just the usual steel fiber will work. And that'll give you. You need at least 700 armor so you can run Arcane Persistence. Arcane Persistence is the secret sauce to Inaros being able to survive, believe it or not. You could have a million health and still get one-shotted. But Arcane Persistence says a million damage will only do 500 damage. So that's absolute win sauce. From there, Arcane Blessings pretty win. Um, Now, there's another thing you can do, and it's Arcane Bellicose. Now, I have two builds, as you can tell from the slit. Arcane Bellicose says that you get a whole bunch of, ability strength, and it's pretty big. You can see between these two builds, that's 229 ability strength to 301, and that is the only ability strength difference. So it's pretty profound. That's a lot. Um, that gives you a lot of armor. Now, specifically, I use the armor mostly because of this primary bulwark. The sand armor gives me over 1,000 armor by itself, and then I have over 700 on Inaros. So that makes sure that I have a maximum buff. As you can see, there it is, 500% at the top of my screen. Now, if I use my other build, this was my first build, actually, the Arcane Blessing. You still get 500%, with that, you do. The difference is it runs out very quickly. We'll grab one of these guys just to show you. Now it's down to 490. Every time I lose a little bit of sand, it'll keep going down. $410. Now with this first build that I use, I also have the Onamari charms. Do. Now, the Onamari charms are really, really good on Inaros. People keep saying that the Onamari charms are like really good on everything, and I see people putting them on shield gating builds, and believe me, that does not work. I've had 19 Onamari charms and died. Just flat died. Shield gating builds are temperamental and tricky to begin with, and the Onamari is only a 50% chance for each charm of blocking a hit, and it only blocks one hit like every 2 seconds. It's a little cooldown there. But on a Inaros, when you've got 6,000 health, every 2 seconds you're getting pretty much healed for your full amount, because the damage that would be dealt to you is stupid, and the Onamari charm stops it and just heals you. And I've noticed that this doesn't prevent the Onamari healing, so you don't only get 500 healing. I've been down to 2k health, Onamari charm procced full 6,000 health. So yeah, that's really good. With this build, I use Remedium because that's stupid. I mean, let's see here. All right. So we will I guess we're gonna showcase both of them simultaneously. And this is no problem. There could be a million Babazoos and it wouldn't matter. I mean, I'm not even healing. And you can kind of see just how win this is. So Remedium is absolutely win. I mean, Remedium basically gives you a full 6,000 heal. It makes you invincible for a few, like, nanoseconds, but you know. And see how this works. I can just keep using it. If you hit too quick, obviously. I mean, I've got 20 Babazoos all shooting me in the face. So, we're talking 175 levels. Maximum I could put in the semi. Now, my secondary weapon, or my primary, my melee weapon, sorry, can also be used to keep me alive. Lakota Harudu. But you can see where Inaros is just absolutely insane and fun to play. I mean, so many tricks to keep you alive that if one fails, it doesn't stop you from winning. All the damage I'm taking gives me energy, so I have basically unlimited energy. I have 2 different methods to heal myself. I mean, Remedium, instant full heal, even if there's no enemies, which is why I put it on there. The Inaros ability is amazing, and by itself will heal you just fine. But if you don't have an enemy nearby, you can just pop your Inaros. But yeah, I mean, he's a lot of fun. Now, aside from my 2 builds here, let's see. The Onamari Charms. Now, the Onamari Charms will only proc every so often, so you do have to be a little evasive with them if you want them to, you know, just spare your life. But for Inaros, the heal on him is what makes it so powerful. I mean, you have so much health. Enemies do so much damage. And the Onamari Charm does a percentage of the damage that would be killing you. So... and you can refresh it when it gets down to 5 on the count. If there's 5 or less Onamari Charms, you just recast it and keep on going. But yeah, now aside from that, it's actually really important to have the Harudu. The Harudu gives you a melee method to heal your life that doesn't cost energy. You could have an energy Eximus be completely out of energy. You can't remedium, you can't spin, you can't recast your charms, and you can still melee yourself back into health. Pretty easy. I mean, you saw how much health I can gain really quick. As long as you're not under too much fire, you know, this will heal you through most anything, believe it or not. I use the melee duplicate because extra hits are, obviously extra healing and extra damage. I use this Saxum because this right here completely armor strips with Shattering Impact. It takes a little while. Like, you're not going to armor strip instantly. You're not, you're not going to nix it. Well, just push one button, everything has no armor. But on a boss fight, this will remove armor gradually. But you'll win. You'll eventually get it. I use Weeping Wounds on this just for the status chance. When you get to combo so fast with this weapon, like I threw some speed on it, but once your combo gets to 12, I mean you have so much status, it's insane, which helps the armor strip. I also put Healing Return on it because I may not have very many status effects on this particular thing, but it's whatever status is affecting the target. So even my pet, status is everything. So, and speaking of which, the pet is part of the build too, very much so, in in a lot of different ways. First off, he has 8,000 HP because Inaros is wind, and yeah. And when I sand shell myself, he gets it too. I mean, I up my armor by like 1,000, and then he gets a bunch of armor too. He's already a 4x4. And this is a 4x4 Panzer Papaya. So he gets the most damage reduction versus, all of the damage types. He's pretty tanky to begin with. Some people say the 4x4 doesn't matter, but I've used both, and I can tell you it does. At level cap, we know that damage reduction really doesn't help much. That is true. But for the most part, he does pretty good. And yeah, other than that, we have the Basmo. Now, my Basmo is pretty built. I mean, I've got a decent Riven, critical chance and damage. I'm eventually going to roll this for critical damage instead of, just critical chance. That is the optimal ideology behind it. But that's quite a bit. Dreadful skill shot. I mean, if you're using it, Basmo, you gotta have that on there. It's really good. Increases damage and status chance by 20% for every 75 Warframe health. I mean, I'm a Naros, so yeah. A little bit of heat so that it does heat and radiation. Primary agility. That right there is awesome. It turns it into you know, without the multi-shot, obviously, it's more of a single target weapon at this point. It does more AoE damage with multi-shot, honestly. You're going to clear ads better with multi-shot, but Premier Acuity is going to take out the Babazoo a little better. Galvanized Scope, Bladed Rounds, those are just maximizing your crit damage. You have a ridiculous amount of base damage, and then you have a ridiculous amount of crit damage. It works pretty well. I mean, now, Babazoos are, you know, irritating to begin with. But that's not too terrible. I mean, if you throw a magnetic on this, you can hit these guys way more. I mean, way more. Like hundreds of K. This is only with radiation. But I mean, if you're ratting everything, they're going to be turning against all the other Babazoo anyway. And that's kind of fun. Use their damage as your damage. You saw that nice big crit there. So, I mean, the most important feature, though, of the Basmu, as you can see every time I reload, I heal. It's a unique trait. Fully deplete magazine, 3 places, 3 pulses, staggering enemies, and healing the user for 100 health per enemy. As fast as it shoots, even with, I mean, I don't have any bonuses to fire rate at all, and it shoots pretty quick. So it's constantly healing me. And yeah, Inaros, once again. I mean, the Basma was clearly made for the Inaros. And since I used pretty much everything else, I might as well Atomos it up. The Atomos completely, the way I have it set up is like armor shield stripping. 100%. Like, and it's set up for crit, obviously, as much critical damage as I can get. Because that's fun. Secondary innervate, because you put that on everything now. Oh, and yeah, if I'm going to come over here and nuke some Babos, I'm going to nuke a bunch of them. And the Incarnate. That doesn't kill anything at all. It almost absolutely does no damage. I can't imagine why anybody would ever use the Atomos. Ruffle. I mean, yeah. So, thank you, everyone, for hanging out and watching some videos. Appreciate you. Peace.